The Blood of Dawnwalker has just been officially announced with a cinematic trailer that is peppered with alpha gameplay at the end. Dawnwalker is the new debut title from even newer studio Rebel Wolves. In The Blood of Dawnwalker, you play as Cohen, a young man from the 14th century who is trying to survive during the Black Death Plague. During this moment of weakness, vampires have chosen to rise up against the royalty, and in the midst of this madness, Cohen has been turned into a daywalker or half-breed or half-vampire. Cohen now has 30 days to save his family or exact revenge and destroy everyone. The biggest word in that sentence is "or," and I'll get into that shortly. Not only does The Blood of Dawnwalker look very promising from just watching the cinematic trailer, but it sounds even better when reading the accompanying press release, so here are the top 5 reasons why I can't wait to play The Blood of Dawnwalker. To begin with, vampires are still highly underutilized in gaming. There are many other tropes like orcs, demons, and zombies that have been pillaged, but when it comes to vampires, there is a definite void, especially when it comes to high quality and AAA. If you Google best vampire games, you will get plenty of search results about Vampire Survivors and Castlevania, both games that aren't actually about playing as a vampire. There is Legacy of Kain, but outside of the recent remaster, there hasn't been a new entry in decades. There's Vampire and Bloodlines, but these tie back into the earlier point of not being overly high quality or a high level of production. There is a massive absence on the AAA level for high quality and high production, and The Blood of Dawnwalker seems poised to become one of the biggest vampire games of all time. Furthermore, the pedigree of Rebel Wolves is something to get excited about. Rebel Wolves were founded in early 2022 by ex-CD Projekt devs, including the director of Witcher 3, along with many other talents that include directors, developers, and writers who have worked on the Witcher series, Cyberpunk, and Thronebreaker, just to name a few. In addition to the wealth of experience at the studio, Rebel Wolves were founded with a goal to revolutionize the RPG genre, which is a bold ambition, but in just a few minutes, I'll explain how they might accomplish this. Staying on the foundation of the studio, the name Rebel Wolves comes from the pack mentality, as wolves are stronger when they travel as one. On the official website, it states that the team always comes first. Happy people make great games. You can't talk about studio values without mentioning that the co-founder of Rebel Wolves resigned from CD Projekt Red after accusations of bullying, which he always denied. Along with seeing how many other developers from CD Projekt followed to Rebel Wolves and that the investigation ruled not guilty, it all points to the conclusion that these allegations might have been fabricated. When Rebel Wolves mentioned how they wanted to revolutionize the genre, there are 2 small excerpts from the press release that sound promising and indicate the studio might have a chance to do what they are setting out to accomplish. In The Blood of Dawnwalker, you play as recently turned Daywalker and you only have 30 days. In this short period of time, you won't be able to complete everything you want, and you must make hard choices as there isn't a distinguishable line between main and side quests. Will you save your family, or will you seek revenge? In the words of the director, time is a resource, and with each quest progressing its passage, it's impossible to complete all stories and arcs before the deadline, making each playthrough unique. We call it a narrative sandbox. Rebel Wolves have taken inspiration from classic RPGs, but want to make sure that the players feel the urgency in this open world. In most RPGs, you do have the luxury of time to complete quests at your leisure, which is often juxtaposed by the severity of the situation in most games, and this is one way that Rebel Wolves might be able to revolutionize. The other way that Dawnwalker and Rebel Wolves might be extremely unique from the rest of the pack is in your skills as a Daywalker. The 30 days that you have also includes 30 nights, because as a Daywalker, you walk a tightrope between human and vampire. This means that your skill set will change depending on the time of day. According to the studio, players will have different skills, abilities, and storyline outcomes. Do you fight for humanity, or do you embrace the cursed powers? As excited as I am to become a Dawnwalker, it's worth tempering the expectations and trying to determine when The Blood of Dawnwalker might release. To do this, I tried to find some recent examples of new studios on a similar size and scope that started, and how long it took them to release their first title. Surprisingly, I was able to find recent examples that check a lot of the same boxes. The first example is Ascendant Studios, which is founded by Brett Robbins in the summer of 2018. Robbins had a strong background in AAA with the experience at EA and Sledgehammer. Many of the people who became employed at the studio were also from Telltale that were unexpectedly shut down around the same time frame. By the time Ascendant Studios shipped their first game, Immortals of Avium, in August 2023, the studio was around 100 people, and the approximate time from founding to release was close to 5 years on the dot. The other example is Striking Distance, which was founded by Glenn Schofield of Dead Space and Call of Duty fame. Striking Distance was founded in June 2019 and ballooned up to around 100 people as well by the time the studio shipped their first title, The Callisto Protocol, in December 2022. Striking Distance was able to imagine, develop, and release their debut title with a little over 3 years. If you take the average time from these two studios, you are looking at around 4 years, but anywhere from 3 to 5 years seems realistic, especially when you consider that both of these studios also had to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic, and that most likely stunted development in some ways. If Rebel Wolves were founded at the very beginning of 2022, then we have a range of possibilities by the end of 2025, but more likely sometime in 2026. We can graph these dates onto Rebel Wolves due to the similar size and scope shared between the studios. While they might share some commonalities with these other studios, the big hope is that Rebel Wolves are bringing enough innovation to the RPG genre with the Blood of Dawnwalker that they will have a different destiny. This is the hope because the final takeaway from the press release was that the Blood of Dawnwalker is the first chapter of the Rebel Wolves' original dark fantasy saga. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Video games is a positivity-forward outlet, a place about being good to your fellow gamer and being better to your fellow human. Every single person in the world can make it a better place, and if this sounds like you, I would love to have you as a member of this community, and hopefully I'll see you in the comments. That's all for this video. Hope to see you in the next one.